say a bunch of cool shit.
I've got a lot to say, and even more to prove. I can do this with you.
Whoa, I didn't realize I got volume feeding back. What is up, dudes? I should probably just leave this shared. I'm here tonight with a special guest, Ben Soto.
What's up, dudes?
Stoked to have him. He colored one of the variant covers for us, the Vince Rush variant cover for the Second Chance campaign. We were actually just talking about that before the stream. And we've had him on before. It's been a while, but he's been here before. Tonight we're gonna draw from a real deep cut giallo called The Girl in Room 2A that probably most people have never heard of.
I know I haven't.
Yeah, right? What's up, Colin? I am here now. Get your boobs out. I'm just sharing the link out to the dudes. Lovely old Twitter. Getting all ready. I'm gonna draw this weirdo tonight. I wanted to try gouache, so I'm gonna try that really quick, and if it totally destroys the sketch card, I'm gonna have to start over. But I'll know pretty quickly on.
Nah, you should be fine. I've used gouache on Bristolboard before.
These aren't necessarily Bristol board. We printed them ourselves, so I don't know.
Oh, gotcha.
How
what kind
much
of paper?
of a beating they can take.
What kind of paper did you use?
I think I went with 18-point cardstock overall. I used like one of the thickest thing they offered, but we needed something for a con early on, because like what I used to do was like if you came and saw us at a con, like you could just tell me a character and I'd do a quick sketch card for you for free, like especially if you were like one of the Twitter peeps or something.
Gotcha.
So it was just like always a thing we like to have on hand. And once we finally had our own books that weren't Alterna books, we wanted to have some of our own sketch cards as well. But I also got Alterna sketch cards on deck anytime anybody wants like a Void Walker or Can't Kill Cade character that I love doing as well. Which I should also mention before I go getting into drawing tonight. The fall campaign is going right now. I got the link in the video description. I'll stop sharing this for a moment, some reference material, and I will. You can start drawing whenever too. You don't need to wait for me or anything. This isn't like a time constraint sort of thing.
All right.
I know I just got rid of the reference material and everything, but
that's right. I got my phone. I got Google.
Pull this guy up real quick. Alterna Comics Fall 2022 pre-orders. I don't know why, even when I'm reading that, I feel like I'm reading it wrong. 6 comics for $15, guys. The Horace H. Hoover debut issue. That's real exciting. Fabrizio's a rad dude. The art is awesome. The book looks weird as all hell, and I am stoked for it. Can't Kill Cade is back as well, which I'm more stoked for selfishly, but you know, it's been a long time coming. And now Jeff is officially an Alterna Comics creator thanks to this book. Technically, he did like a backup for
That's right, for Blood Realm, yeah.
But that was a backup. Now he's full cloth, man.
That's right, front and center.
Yeah, we stomped him in and everything. We got a new issue of Red Koi, a new issue of Wolf and Batsy, and a new issue of Downcast. Some of my favorite dudes in the crew. A heavy hitter lineup already. I believe the week 1 bundle might be coming down soon. Yeah, like it might be coming down tonight, guys. So if you want that, $100 gets you all of it. The shirt, the hat, all the books, bunch of extra stuff. I think that might be the prints in there too. Don't quote me on that, but you get the collector's short box. I don't know why I was stuttering on that, but the Blood Realm short box that Rob and Pete did an awesome job putting together. And the new Wolf and Batsy shirt. Lots of cool stuff. Somebody broke our curse on the 0 issues of Cade claimed. There's been plenty of bundles, obviously, but we had a big fat 0 sitting here. That was pretty wacky. So thank you, whoever you are. But yeah, guys, campaign's looking great. I think we're already at we're at 84%.
Nice.
23 days left, so get on it. But yeah, if you want that week 1 bundle, all of it all at once, so you don't have to think about it missing out on anything, get in on it. And if you signed up for the pre-launch signups, there's the cool exclusive card, and there's some extra trading cards, I think, just for backing. Pete goes all out on these things, and again, we're back on it. So if you love me, support the books. Go get that bundle.
Or if you love Jeff.
Yeah, you likely love Jeff, so back it for him. $15, man. It's cheaper than any other campaign you're gonna find on Indiegogo, and you get 6 books instead of 1. What is up, Charles Reeves? Colin, I said hi to you. I want to make artists draw 70s and 80s fantasy and sci-fi paperback covers for me. Just commissions for books that don't exist. That's the kind of shit I'd probably do if I were just endlessly rich. Like, I wish billionaires were more interesting like that, like Jeff Bezos and stuff. Like, even if it was just, like, waifu art or something, if he was just, like, unabashedly, like, into that, it was like, yeah, I'm like a billionaire, I don't give a shit, I'm gonna get a 30-foot painting of my waifu.
There you go.
Like, he left his real wife for a painting.
Or Elon, like he just wants, like, a whole bunch of zeros and ones painted.
Yeah. Yeah, I want beautiful code.
00100.
I'm looking to commission the sexiest code around. I will pull this back up too, just in case anybody is watching and drawing along. I'll pull up this freaky bastard again. From the girl in room 2A. I was telling Ben I didn't get the chance to watch this one before the show tonight, but from my foggy memory of it, and this picture right here confirmed it, it's the only Giallo killer that has a crew of fat, sweaty Italian guys that kill with him. I remember, I think it's in one of the trailers as well, but there's one kill where I think they're like, I don't even know if it's technically a kill, it ends up being like a forever sleep, self forever sleep moment, YouTube. Because they're trying to murder this guy, and he decides to just leap out a window of his own volition. I think it's as though he's trying to get away, but it doesn't work out that way. But yeah, this dude's really cool, and I thought it would be fun to just do like stark gouache painting of him tonight. I gotta look through these colors real quick. These are teaser colors that they promised me in a tweet would be fantastic.
Yeah, this guy looks like an Italian luchador.
Yeah, he's awesome like that. He makes... I mean, Giallos normally have like a real visually striking, weird character like this. Especially for the killer, like the staples of the genre are always like a masked killer with like, normally like black leather gloves. And you don't really see them. It's like a whodunit until the 3rd act. And then there's always like a big reveal. And I'm realizing now that I'm going through and like watching a ton of them all at once again, there's a very common thread of like overt, like almost like cartoonish mental illness. So like, and it's like there's no, whereas in like a normal like American whodunit, there's like little breadcrumbs and hints and things throughout it, or red herrings that feel like hints to throw you off, so you're thinking this other person is the killer. But there would be like little hints at someone being absolutely batshit nuts, or
Right.
at least the fact that someone in there might be nuts outside of just the obvious like overt murders throughout the movie. But in Italian giallos, it's like, no, in like the last 5 minutes, you're going to find out who the killer is, and then you're going to find out they have like every mental illness ever, and it's just going to explode into like live theater for the last 5 minutes, where they just, it feels like they're letting that one actor just riff like crazy. Like, it's like, all right, we revealed everything important to the movie, now do everything you've ever wanted to do in a performance, all in this moment.
Yeah. You know, he kind of looks like a Italian Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, it's too. A great thing is like they could do a whole movie like this where it's obviously a man in that costume the whole time, but then in the last 5 minutes they rip the mask off and it's the 85-pound beautiful Italian woman that was running the art gallery the whole movie. You're like, what? That woman has the broadest shoulders. Trying to find a good red in here. I think I've gone crazy.
So I've never seen a Giallo movie. Explain the genre to me.
Oh, you might have seen one and not even known before, but
That's
like
possible.
I said, it's traditionally they were like the easiest, simplest way to I explain it. And I'm sure there's a billion different definitions, and there's probably people that'll listen to this and be like, "This guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about." But the easiest way I always explained it is they're like Italian slasher movies. So they definitely started earlier. I can't remember who coined the term, but I heard a quote a while ago that Giallo's the whole running idea is that murder is an art form. And so if it's an Italian slasher movie and you think of that just to make a simple mathematical equation of it, you're gonna have 5 people killed, a real interesting looking killer, and that's the base slasher formula. You might have more people killed or whatever, but you have a bunch of people get murdered and you have an interesting killer. A lot of times in Giallos, though, they would shoot first-person perspectives and things like that, and you'd only see that black leather glove look, because that was an anonymous thing. It was big over in Italy. Everybody would wear a long jacket and gloves at night and when they were out and about and stuff like that. So it was this killer could be anyone, and it's supposed to throw you off for the whole movie. And it evolved over time. I think Dario Argento is credited as changing it from just a black gloved killer to also a masked killer. They'd start adding in surreal elements and things like that, but it really boils down to it's a sort of art house semi can be erotic. I don't want to say it's always erotic, but they have erotic themes a lot of times, and there's a lot of that's why I said it's the quote of murder as an art form works so well, because it's everything in the frame in those kill scenes, whereas in an American slasher you're trying to scare people. It's almost like the directors in a Giallo are trying to make the most violent, beautiful painting you've ever seen. Evidently my internet's struggling right now, but you'll have the most beautiful woman you've ever seen with one of her boobs hanging out of a nightie, and then the killer shows up. As soon as a sexy woman shows up on screen and she's scantily clad, you essentially know something bad is going to happen. And that's why that's the whole idea. And Dario Argento also folded in contemporary art of the time, and so there'd be all these beautiful sculptures and stuff from Italian artists. So every movie just has all these weird centerpieces and set pieces that are just sort of thrown in just because they look cool. And that was the sensibility, is it was almost style over substance on purpose. But they do it so well, and this list is sort of the spectrum of what the genre has to offer, and there's way more to deep dive into, but I threw in some American ones on the list. Before I start drawing real quick, actually, I will pull up the list again. I got it as my pinned tweet now, like a real responsible guy. Yeah, so the first night we did the bird with the crystal plumage. That was Dario Argento's 1970. I believe that was his debut, actually, in the giallo genre, and that sort of redefined it of not just being a black glove killer whodunit anymore. He started to add more elements into the genre and sort of define it more. And he continued to get weirder and weirder over time. That was the first card there of just the dude in the tan jacket. This guy Sam, who in the movie is like he's an American actor visiting Italy with his girlfriend, and basically witnesses a murder and becomes like the star, not suspect, but like star witness. So the police have him like along for ride-alongs and stuff as they're trying to catch the guy.
Gotcha.
It's a very good one though. Then we did *Malignant* for night 2, which is James Wan's new one that came out during COVID and was absolutely bonkers. That's technically an American one and a modern one as well. I thought that would be an easy one for people early on. And then last night we did *Blood and Black Lace*, which was another classic from Mario Bava, which is, I think, technically the one that's like credited as like coining the genre, if I remember correctly. That was in 1964.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's what I mean. Like, so it's almost like slasher movies are American giallos in a sense, because giallos seemingly got their start, or at least their popular footing, way earlier on than American slasher movies did. Where like our slasher movies really saw their like heyday in like the 70s into the 80s,
Yeah.
and they see like a little bit of a renaissance like every 10 years now. Colin's just trying to pimp us out in chat right now, but yeah, I think tonight's is one of the deeper cuts. Like this is one like a lot of people normally haven't seen. Suspiria tomorrow night will probably be a big one because Jeff's going to be on with me at the very least, and that's one that a lot of people know and love. That's kind of where, like, that's the one, if you haven't seen Giallos, go check that one out, like, immediately. That's kind of like one of the best the genre has to offer, if you ask most people. It also got a remake recently, and the remake actually isn't garbage either. The remake's pretty good, and I think that's an Amazon original.
Yeah, I think I heard of that one, Suspiria. I always thought that was a vampire movie, so it's not vampires, it's slasher.
It's witches, I think, technically, without
Okay.
ruining anything. It's like the easiest way to explain it, I guess. I think
Okay.
it says that in the like description on the back of the like movie, so like it's in the synopsis, but it's like especially the original, it's so weird and Italian, like it'll be, again, like even if you don't like love the movie or pick up on everything it's trying to say, they're still at least visually interesting and fun to watch in that regard. And then there's always little bits of like hilarious overdubbing and things like that, because traditionally Italian directors would have all of the actors speak in their native tongue and then they would just overdub it into whatever language they needed.
I see.
So it's a bit insane sometimes. But yeah, tomorrow's a good one, and then ironically we're doing one of what's considered one of the best giallos ever, and then the night after we're doing the New York Ripper, which was the giallo that like absolutely disgusted Kayla when she was here last weekend. It was hilarious. Her and Mike walked out of the room during the middle of the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, some of them can be pretty extreme. And then the night after that is Death Walks at Midnight, which me and Mike tried to watch the other day while we were doing fulfillment for the books. We're like packaging up books and we put that on, and the killer looks like Phil Spector, and we couldn't stop laughing because we had been drinking. And we were like, all right, we got to put something else on because we like can't take the movie seriously. Like when this guy is like beating hookers to death violently, we're like laughing maniacally because he looks so hilarious. Like that was the only way we could reason that he was able to kill people, was that he basically like stunned you like a deer in headlights. Yeah, Mike's in chat. It was very extreme. He's a crazy looking character, and he beats hookers to death with a like a spiked like fantasy gauntlet, but it's set in like grimy like 80s LA, I think. And then we're back to a modern one with the Neon Demon. But I'm not gonna go through the whole list tonight. I'll leave it up for a minute there. People want to check it out. But yeah, it was meant to get people drawn, get people watching some weird movies they've never seen before. It's a big ass list, and it's a lot of movies to watch, so I know nobody was going to watch all of them, but I think Ryan has actually been watching all of them, and I'm seemingly winning Ryan over with Giallos. So all it takes is one. I think I got the right colors now. I somehow managed to get stuff all over these cards every time. Oh, I'm just sharing my Twitter feed now. That's real exciting stuff. We'll go back to sharing this guy.
So you were working on a script, right? Like a Giallo script?
Oh yeah, I'm almost done with that one. I mean, I was actually thinking about, because the end of the month is the last 3 days was create your own Giallo protagonist, create your own Giallo killer, and then for the final night, create your own Giallo film poster. And we were gonna do like a big one because I have some stuff to give away for streams for that. I kind of lost my train of thought because somebody texted me. Sorry. Neon Demon was so wannabe edgy. It was anti-edgy. What's up, Figure Drawing? Neon Demon's one of the ones I'm excited to go back and watch. I watched that right when it came out, and I have not returned to it. But I was like, I guess you could consider that an American Giallo. So I put that on the list. And I wanted to get some more, some different directors on there. What the hell was I answering for you before, Ben? I'm so sorry. I'm like, I completely lost my train of thought.
I was asking about your script.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about doing the last 3 of the week based on that, because that's like almost done. That'd be an easy idea. But that is such a weird concept. It would be really hard to actually like sell and get made into a movie. And it was written like intended to be a movie, so it'd be weird now to go and do the reverse and make it a comic. But it'll just get put on a shelf till somebody either responds to it or I turn it into a comic. We'll see. We're focused on what's it called? Return to Camp Rainbow right now, though. Once fulfillment's locked in on the rest of City of Rot, that's all we're really doing for the time being, and then we'll figure out if we're gonna do another Death Curse book first or what. We're finishing up Cade. That's been a lot of fun. But it's like the book is technically years old at this point, so it's like this weird limbo we've been in for a really long time. So it's nice to be back.
Is it ending with 3, or what's your plan?
No, we got the 4th issue coming, so that'll wrap up the mini-series that it was initially pitched as at Alterna. Why I can't talk. So there is another issue after 3.
Okay.
It doesn't just abruptly end. 3, though, is like, it's fun because it's like finally sort of opening up and making more sense of things. And then 4 is our big climax, the end of it all. Made a real weird book. Sort of did it in reverse, where the hook was at the end, and now we're finally sort of there.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Alterna books.
That means the world to me. Like, I love hearing that. It's been such a long road with that one too, but I'm stoked it's finally almost done. for the time being. There's still plenty I want to tell with him. I just don't know if it's going to end up like staying as its own book, if it's going to show up in Hellseekers. We're trying to figure out the best route for it. Just because we had always planned on moving on to Hellseekers. Jeff was not initially going to be the guy doing the art on Cade. I don't know if I gotta make sure I'm on screen here. Over here. Just get a rough idea of this guy before I paint over all of it immediately. The goofiest Giallo killer. It's been a great setup like this. Just weird movies every night I'll get a guest on. We got a couple lined up now too. I think Padrino's coming on for New York Ripper, which will be funny as hell. Fabrizio coming on for one of the Brian De Palma nights, one of my favorite directors.
Nice.
Who makes really horny movies. Most people only know him for like Scarface, but man, are his American Giallos weird as hell. Actually, when Mike was here this weekend, we rewatched Body Double, which is also on the list, and it's a real wacky one.
Which one's your favorite?
Oh man, that's tough. Get a couple drinks in me and it's different every time. That'd be really hard. I mean, a lot of these on the lists are favorites of mine.
Is there one that inspired yours, like in particular?
That inspired mine specifically?
Yeah.
I would say almost overall just Dario Argento's like whole catalog.
Okay.
Like if I were to lean in one direction with that one specifically, it's way more inspired by his stuff than anyone else's. A lot of the other stuff, even though I like Lucio Fulci and guys like that, a lot of it tends to be a lot like sleazier and fall more into like the exploitation range. And this is one of the few like horror genres where I like when it treads into like art house territory. Where normally like most genres I'd be like, this movie's up its own ass. For some reason it always works in a giallo for me. I don't know how to explain it. Probably doesn't really make much sense, but
No, I can see it, especially that over exaggeration is the point. You know, the whole ridiculousness of it.
yeah, it's like you're trying to make like an abstract painting or something like really just like over the top and insane in film form, and it doesn't necessarily really have to make sense to the director, I guess. Or the audience, for that matter. It's kind of a strange sell to people that aren't just like nuts about movies already. To be like, hey, check out this genre of film that's kind of like nonsensical at times and doesn't really care about explaining itself.
Yeah, plots just get in the way sometimes, you know.
Yeah. We'll see how this goes now. I'm gonna get real quiet now.
Yeah.
Give the whole show over to Ben.
Listen to the sound of my pencil touching paper.
Yeah, man, this has been every night for me. Feel bad for the 4 or 5 guys that show up and are just like, Jesus.
Let's talk about a really good show out called She-Hulk. You seen that, man?
Oh yeah, totally. I would like to tell you that I watch TV all the time. I'm like a movie nut. Like I was like Mike is a real good friend of mine. He's literally my co-creator, co-writer on Kill Cade. He's not terminally online like me and is probably doing all the better for it. So yeah, he stays out of most of the dumb shit on the internet, but he's like one of my closest like real friends too. And I was just telling him this weekend, like I wish I could just like host weird ass movie marathons all the time, because like 90% of the shit I'm watching and I'm getting into has nothing to do with coming out in the last like 10 years. I go out rarely to see new stuff because new stuff has been a bummer for a while, and I don't like wasting my money on disappointments. Disney Plus too, like shit like that. I think we have it just because I'm like my girlfriend's family.
Yeah.
She's like a Disney nut, but I don't watch any of that. I'm behind on Star Wars everything, Marvel everything. Like I don't have the like time in the day to keep up with all that. Excuse me. I just read like a thing that like they had to like scrap everything they shot for Blade and rewrite the whole thing, and they brought on the guy who did Moon Knight to rewrite it. So I'm like out on that too. I gave Moon Knight like 3 episodes and it broke my heart. It's like, all right, Marvel ain't for me anymore. I'm good. Like I can move on. Like, but
yeah, I don't know who it's for anymore.
Yeah, She-Hulk was just weird as hell. They're talking about woman empowerment the whole time, and then like the only clip I kept seeing getting circulated anywhere and trending was her twerking everywhere, and I was like, all right, I don't know what anything means anymore, but I'm like 32 and I feel like I'm 60. I should have definitely grabbed smaller paintbrushes. Where did I put those other ones? Do I have any in here?
So what's the last good movie you watched?
Body Double.
Body Double.
Yeah, Brian De Palma's Body Double. Check it out, from I think 1984.
Wow.
It's like, yeah, man, I'm trying to think of something more modern. I've been hearing the new Top Gun's really good. New TV I watched that I've actually liked. Terminal List surprised me, and that was one Jeff told me about.
Yeah, I've been hearing good things about it.
Yeah, it's like sort of no bullshit military espionage show, and they really didn't give a shit about what anyone was going to say about it. Like it might as well just market it on like not for snowflakes. Like it's that kind of crowd, but
right.
Like it's actually well written too, and like held my interest. It's nothing like new or original either. Like I think Jeff said, it kind of felt like somebody really wanted to write a Punisher show.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's like it's the Punisher with Chris Pratt as the Punisher, and it's a weird pitch, but and like I was like, that sounds goofy as hell, man. And then I went and watched it, and it actually held my interest. It's not terrible. It's nothing, it's not reinventing the wheel or anything, but it was a good watch. And same thing with the new Reacher that they did on Amazon as well. Those are like probably the most recent like TV things I really watched. I know everybody's going nuts about that new Game of Thrones and all that shit, but that ain't me.
Me either.
Can't think of movies either, man. I'm like losing my mind, I guess. Like contemporary stuff. I know me and Mike went and saw The Northman, and that was rad in theaters. I don't know how it'll hold up at home, but it's a great theater experience. I want to see that new one, Triangle of Sadness. That looks weird as hell. I don't even completely know what it's about, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that one.
I've just been seeing the trailers for it, and I really like the cast. Doesn't look like anything else that's been coming out in theaters and stuff, and that's way more interesting to me nowadays in like any creative field. I'm like, oh, it's something different that doesn't look like every other blockbuster.
Right.
Like I got some trailer today for, I think it's a Josh Duhamel and Jennifer Lopez movie that's coming out on Amazon. I cannot tell you the name of it, but it's a romantic comedy that also turns into a violent action movie halfway through it, because that's their new gimmick.
What?
Yeah, now that rom-coms don't sell anymore, they make them turn into action movies halfway through. I think they did that with like that Lost City movie with like Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the new thing, because romantic comedies have been bombing for like 5 or 6 years now pretty hard. They don't make the money they used to. So they had to start sort of doing like the Fast and Furious formula. Also, it seems gouache kicks ass on this as long as I don't add water to it.
Nice. Zoom in. Let me see that.
Gotta get over to my computer right next to my drawing table to do it.
Oh, wow.
So it is starting to work.
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
And I love how just like crazy vibrant the gouache is. And that's like I said, it's the super cheap Arteza shit. Like,
yeah,
you can get the case of these. I think, what are they, like 2 ounce or something like that?
Yeah, my brother
not
bought me
2
like
ounce.
my brother bought me like a 24 pack for my birthday last year. I just haven't broken them out.
Yeah, 12 milliliter, and it's like, I think it's the whole line of colors they do. It's either 24 or 48, the one that I got. And I think they're great, like especially for doing little stuff like this. It's a lot of fun to mess around with too. The new Top Gun is rad. It's basically a huge budget video game, impossible scenario cutscene movie. Yeah, last good one was The Northman, Mike said too. I was trying to think, there was something else I wanted to go see that's like in theaters soon. But nothing else. Like, I really think Northman is like the last thing I went and saw in theaters, and that was just me and Mike like randomly like, fuck it, let's go see a movie.
Yeah, that one looked like it was gonna be a good one. It kind of looked like Conan from the trailer. I don't know if it is, but
I was telling people like it's definitely not for everybody. It felt like a multi-million-dollar like stage play.
okay.
Which I don't think is what people were expecting at all. But it had like, obviously it's a retelling of Hamlet, but it had this like very like Shakespearean feel to the entire production, and I just assumed that was like part of it. But it was like watching the best stage play that wasn't a stage play ever. It was real weird, but I loved it, and I feel like it wouldn't have translated so well if I hadn't seen it in theaters. We also got lucky and we went and saw it in a theater where it was like me, Mike, and like some dad and his 2 young sons. And no one else. So,
That's nice.
Yeah, it was like perfect. No one was like talking through it or anything. And I think the movie ended and the dad was like, holy shit! Like, that was like the only talking we heard throughout the movie. He said something insane because they were just like blown away.
Yeah.
But it was like a really good movie, and every time you thought like, oh, they're gonna go this way, it like takes a weird turn, and it still very much plays into the themes it's supposed to and everything, almost to a fault. I think that's why some people didn't really like it, but I knew what I was getting into for the most part. It's definitely a weird one, though. I'm trying to think of like new horror or anything, because that's like normally my bag, and I can't even do that. Dario Argento's got a new one out with his daughter in it called like Dark Glasses, but it looks kind of fucking wonky.
Huh.
Still probably gonna see it, but not really in any hurry.
Yeah, it's not new anymore, but one of the more recent ones I saw was called The Cursed.
Oh, is that the werewolf one?
Yeah.
I think Jeff went and saw that and was like telling us we needed to go see it, and I don't think any of us went and saw it. Feel kind of bad.
Yeah, I caught it on Hulu. It's pretty good. I was impressed.
I'm going to have to check that out then. I didn't know it's on Hulu now. Oh, I didn't put it back to all of us. Yeah, I can't keep up with all the Marvel stuff anymore. It's too much. Like Blade, I was kind of excited for. Now that I'm reading, like, there's all sorts of shit going on behind the scenes for that. I'm doubtful as well.
Yeah.
Like, I read they said basically, was it Mahershala Ali was pissed because I guess he agreed to the script even though it only had like 2 lackluster action scenes in it, and it was because they basically argued that they would like bolster it and do some rewrites and add more to it throughout production, and then they didn't. So then they, like, from what I read, it seems like they started to actually shoot the show and had to stop and rewrite everything. I don't know if I like misinterpreted that, but it was like sounded fucking insane.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got talent like right out of the gate that hates what they're working on. That's not a good start.
Yeah, didn't the director, like the original director, drop out?
Yeah, that's why they brought in the Moon Knight guy, I think, because he writes and directs a lot. But I'm like, look how well your fan base loved that.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of wienery, like, middle-aged dads who love Moon Knight now, who, like, if I had to see one more dude being like, I love how, like, tender he is, I was like, what the shit is going on? Like, just what I always wanted, the tender, loving Moon Knight.
Yep.
I'm gonna send that pitch into Marvel. Mark Spector, tender lover.
The tenderest of lovers.
Yeah. I remember watching like 3 episodes of that show and just being like, eventually he's going to fight something. Like, this has to get cool. They couldn't have done this man this dirty.
And they did.
Yup. Hurts my soul. And then they did the same thing to my boy Werewolf at Night, who everybody's about to find out about. Can't wait for that to drop in like a week.
Did they? Did they ruin him?
Yeah, it was one of the secret premieres at Fantastic Fest like this past weekend, and everybody said it's like comical how bad it's a fucking big joke.
That sucks.
He didn't even get like his own actual story. From what I heard, it's like a send up to like Universal Movie Monsters. It's like a black and white, like digitally black and white story. It makes no sense. I think like Man-Thing has a cameo in it, and that's supposed to be the selling point for people, is like it's another one of those like, oh my god, look who it is moments.
Right.
But there's like no substance to it. The guy they got to play Jack Russell sucks. Like, a guy
That's
named
unfortunate.
Jack Russell, and I think they cast like a Spanish dude. Like Spain Spanish. Like, he literally looks like he plays like soccer. was like, what the fuck? Like a dude named Jack Russell? This is what you thought of?
His name is Juan.
Yeah, Juan Russell. It was, and like, I'm totally cool with the bending races and everything, but it was the last thing I fucking expected, and then they're not even, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't even fucking turn into a werewolf, because the production stills and stuff I saw that were leaking from the festival it was at, I was
Yeah.
like, God damn it. Like, it looks bad, and it looks cheap. It basically, I think it's 52 minutes long, and it's credited as like a Marvel Halloween special or something like that.
Interesting.
But it looks like the budget of like a TV show. And the craziest thing is, other than the people that saw it at Fantastic Fest, I've seen no one talking about it. Like, it seems like no one knows it's even coming out, and I think it's supposed to be coming out in a couple of days.
Yeah, I just barely heard about it like a week ago. I had no idea it was in production.
Yeah. And it's not looking great. Another character I absolutely love just butchered. He was in the Ghost Rider pitch that me and Kevin put together. Basically what became Tomb of the Black Bloods. Was him, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, a couple other characters. Nomad was in it.
Oh, that's cool.
It
So
was
was
a real weird ass pitch, and CB Cebulski basically was like, we'd have to resurrect the Max lineup to do your books. I was like, then do it. You're saying you like my shit.
So that's cool. You did hear back from him?
I met him in person. Like, talked with him. He gave me his email. We went back and forth. This was before I even signed to Alterna, and he liked my ideas. He had me email him back after for a follow-up. He followed up with me. He said he was like tagging in all the Marvel editors to the chain, and it was like Jordan White and a bunch of other editors of the time, and he was like, if anybody wants to pick this up, let me know, and I never heard back from anyone. And that was the extent of my interactions with Marvel. We had a really big Punisher pitch that was like probably pretty touchy for the time. And then that big pitch, and they weren't too proactive about getting us on board for it, other than CB himself, who was like, wow, these are really cool ideas. We don't have anything like this right now. And it wasn't like, I'm not saying like Marvel was going to resurrect their Max line for me, but he was definitely interested.
Yeah.
So there was a point in time where he wasn't completely opposed to radical ideas that are outside of what's the mainstream now, but I think that's long gone at this point. It was also, that was like back when I found out he said there's like an insane amount of people the Star Wars stuff has to go through before they can even approve it. So like all the shit they're doing, like even with the licenses, like they're still barely in charge of it. Disney has like it's like a 20-man team of people that have to approve the shit they do.
Really? So Disney's still involved in all that?
Oh yeah, like that's what I don't think people realize about like licensed comics is like there's licensing where the company whose property you're licensing has like no involvement and they don't care. You just pay them like a flat fee, and you know they let you take the license and do whatever they want with it. There's licensing where that company still takes a cut of it and they have a little bit of say. There's a licensing in it where, like, I think it's like the G.I. Joe stuff and shit like that. All that licensing is like hyper scrutinized, and people don't realize that for some reason. Like, all that stuff is still monitored for the most part.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, like it has to be if brands care, especially like nowadays. If you care about the integrity of your brand, you really have to be on top of it. Look at what people are doing to brands when it's not being monitored.
That's true.
I'm waiting. We're like a couple years away from companies just being like, oh, you remember that last 5 years? None of that shit's canon. Like, how many companies are just going to go back on all of this dumb crap we've been living through for the last 5-10 years? Like,
But isn't that what they did with Dark Horse though, with their Star Wars line?
yeah, I think so.
I mean, they just pretty much.
I think they're like in the
said
middle
that's
of
not
remaking
canon.
it now. That's what they. Oh yeah, when Disney bought it out, I'm pretty sure they said most of it's not canon, and then they just cherry picked shit from it. They did that with the books and stuff too. I know a bunch of people that were pissed about that. I don't get it anymore.
Yeah, that's
I
unfortunate.
said this was going to be a quick one, and I'm getting ready to bust out my second paint color finally. Not quick enough. Let's see what Ben's doing. Oh hell yeah! And he added babes.
Babes.
You can never have enough Giallo babes.
Killers and babes. Babes and killers.
Yeah, man, it's a great great genre. Man, that's kick-ass. I love it.
Thanks, man.
And you got the poke and stick.
That's right.
I think he might also be the only Giallo killer with just a big fucking sword for no reason. I can't think of another one where there's a guy with a sword killing people. I fuck with The Mandalorian mainly for dope practical effects. Yeah, that kind of stuff I love, but like that shit I just end up like the month after the whole series has come out, I just end up watching all the like retrospectives and shit that they release once the company's like not worried about spoiling the show anymore. And I'm like, oh cool, I didn't have to waste like a day's worth of my life watching this show anymore. But I don't know. That's just me. I'm a crazy person. Don't listen to me figure drawing.
Yeah, I think Mando is the only show I really like as far as Star Wars shows go.
I think that's like where I tapped out. I think I watched the first season and bailed after that.
Boba Fett was massively... That was just a letdown.
Yeah, I got the fucking Rancor sigil on my leg, and I didn't even watch that show. I'm a huge Boba Fett nerd, and I was like, no, I'm done. This shit ain't working on me.
Yeah, they dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Although, hey, I'm finally represented on screen.
That's right, I feel seen. I'm with you, man.
I'm not a Kiwi, but I'm definitely fat. Thanks, Disney, for looking out. Oh, finally, fat guys that have no business being seen on TV. Giallo yellow.
Giallo yellow.
That is literally what the word means.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's the Italian word for yellow. Il giallo matadori. Some shit like that. It's the term name comes from the old pulp novels they were based on, which old crime novels in Italy had this stark yellow cover for whatever reason.
Probably because that was a cheaper color. Because I think Westerns did the same thing, where Westerns had a lot of yellow skies because that was a cheaper color.
Yeah, so they used that for all the crime novellas and stuff at the time, and it just carried over to the film genre afterwards. Same like sensibilities and themes and things like that. Sexy women, violent murder, whodunits, and things like that. See if I can get like a film historian on for one of the nights. I can just shut up and let them do all the talking.
You should.
Hoping to get, I mean, he's kind of a film historian. He's a film critic on YouTube. He's one of my favorites. Kino Corner actually commented on one of my tweets about it. He might be coming on for the night I do Deep Red.
Nice.
So that might turn into a longer show. I haven't had the chance to converse with him on a show before, so it'll be cool to have him on if he is able to get on. And he's into a lot of the same kinds of strange film I'm into, maybe even more so. He definitely brilliant dude, and you should check out his channel if you're not already familiar with the Kino Corner.
You said a Kino Corner?
The Kino Corner.
The Kino Corner, okay.
Yeah. Kino.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Covers all sorts of weird films and does great film analysis. And he's a big analog nut like me. He shot his first feature completely, I believe, on 16 millimeter, which I'm a big nutcase for. We're in the middle of trying to shoot our own short film on 8 millimeter, just because I wanted to do something analog.
How's that going, by the way?
Pretty fucking crazy. It's coming together. We haven't shot anything yet, but like pre-pro wise, like we're getting outfits together. Things are looking really cool. Gotta finish building the set in my basement, but then once that's going, we'll be able to get together on weekends pretty much any time and shoot stuff for it. So slow right now, but once the set's all done, it's gonna start coming together really fast, which is very exciting. Probably bit off way more than I can chew, but it'll be interesting when it's all done. I really, really want to go on a road trip after we wrap it. Me and Mike were already talking about it. Go on a road trip and just shoot on film. Kind of trying to figure out a purpose behind it, like a destination to go check out. And originally we were thinking about South by Southwest, but with fulfillment wrapping up and everything soon, we were talking about potentially going down to Florida and seeing if we could volunteer down there.
Oh, yeah?
And shoot stuff while we were down there, because I can bring like my 35mm SLR and my video camera, and we can go down and help during the day, and then I can go out and shoot at night.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I kind of just want to break from things. But like somewhere where I can actually make an impact. Where like originally we wanted to go on just a straight up like vacation ride where we'd shoot it and whatever and have fun and just find cool shit to shoot. Just like drive out however far we can afford to, turn around and come back. But it's like Florida right now just got real fucked up, and if we could actually go down there and help and shoot some shit that's kind of like a once in a lifetime, not opportunity, but like occurrence.
Right.
Because it's kind of fucking terrible, but it's like I don't know how many people will be down there not just documenting it on a digital camera or whatever.
Yeah. I love the smell of these markers.
Oh yeah, the good stuff.
The good stuff.
That's good enough for now. Kind of got off screen again like an asshole. Sorry, guys. Gotta let them dry a little bit. And I said this was going to be a short one, Ben. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I got some 9:30, so.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, if you got to duck out at any time, don't feel bad.
Yeah, well, 9:30 my time, so probably 10:30 your time.
Yeah. I got some more stuff for giveaways today too, so that's cool. I think now we have. Obviously, I'm gonna be giving away cards. I don't know how many we're gonna do yet, but I'm thinking we'll just do like giveaway polls, and as you get picked, you can pick whichever card you like, and I'll send them off to you guys. I'm gonna get like the packages and everything ready for them, so I can literally bag them, write your name on them immediately, and then I'll get your address after the show, and they will go out. But we'll have cards. I just picked up a vinyl album to one of my favorite Giallos today, so we'll be giving away one of those. It's a live performance of the album. Very stoked. So we have a copy of that to give away. I'm not gonna divulge which film it is just yet. And I got a Blu-ray copy of The Editor, which was the parody Giallo that we showed Kayla the last weekend she was down here. And she did not get it at all. She absolutely hated it, but it's a fucking hilarious movie. If you're into comedies and you don't know what a Giallo is, it's a real fun way to get into the genre. And that one is also just available to watch on Shudder right now, I'm pretty sure. So if you have Shudder, you can watch it on there. But it's a hilarious movie. I absolutely love it. I would fucking kill to get the directors on for that. The Astron 6 guys, they're fucking hilarious. I love their movies. So we're giving away a copy of that. And that's also the last night, the last movie I think we're drawing. I think that's day like 27 or 28 before we get into the draw your own stuff. But, Spencer, are you doing storyboards for your short? I have like half the team that wants to do storyboards for the short, and I'm doing some storyboards for it. But I have like a lot of the dudes like jumping at the opportunity for that right now. So we'll probably do a little bit of it, but we're doing something real weird for this one. Like I kind of want to shoot from the hip on a lot of it because it is so strange. I've been telling everyone it's kind of like a serial killer's home movie. So it's not pleasant at all. It is a horror short. And it was kind of like test footage for a longer thing originally. But we were like, we can make this its own thing and make it interesting and put it up on YouTube for everyone for free. It might get banned on YouTube, but it'll go up. Drink some water, and then I can get back into inking this real quick. We'll check out Ben's again. God damn, dude, that rocks.
Thanks, man.
For not knowing the movie, you're killing it.
Thanks. Just having fun with it.
Oh, punch my mic. Sorry about that. Oh man, the sketch cards do work great too as little palettes. That's fantastic.
That's cool, man. That's not good.
Bend them back into place.
Yeah, maybe next time I'll break out my my wash as well. You're making me want to play with it.
Yeah, I've been like itching to for a while. That's like exactly why I got it out tonight. I was like, I need to. Okay, I can still see the mouth pretty good. Yeah, I can never like focus and talk while I'm doing this inking stuff. This is why I need an inker.
Ryan, get in here now.
Yeah. Oh man, if I could afford to just pay Ryan full time, that's why Death Curse really needs to blow up, is so that we can just pay Ryan to be in a dungeon inking us all constantly.
Chain him to a table.
Yeah, we don't talk about it a lot, but that's the real dream. Being able to afford to lock Ryan in a basement permanently.
Everybody needs a goal.
Getting scores to baseball games and stuff. I don't even know what app that was for. Tom Brady's getting divorced. Everybody hear about it?
I saw AB's picture that he posted.
Yeah, man, that was wild.
That was messed up.
It's like, that man let you live in his house. And you totally banged his wife. Celebrities are wild.
That guy's just nuts.
Oh yeah, he's like, we're just seeing like the throes of CTE on live television, basically.
Seriously, yeah.
He's about a Benoit at some point. And it ain't gonna be good. This guy's eyebrows that he doesn't really have, because that's super Italian. That's one of the best things about this genre too, is the fucking insane posters they do.
Yeah.
They like really go all out with the movie poster look.
Yeah, some of the best stuff I've seen is coming from like the 70s.
Oh yeah, man. You can't see it obviously right now, but I went to that. We actually threw an ad for their online store in the back of our Death Curse books because I love the place so much. It's this little hole in the wall, like vintage bookstore in Connecticut that's like a couple towns away from me. They had just these books that are like collections of movie posters, and it's like each volume of the book is a different decade. And I ended up grabbing like the entire collection while I was there, and I constantly consult the 70s one because it's so damn good. Just trying to... Looks like I think I didn't thin the gouache out enough. That's alright. This kind of gives it a weird, rough, painterly look, ironically. This doesn't look like I'm inking it with a liner. I still gotta do Fragtober after this. I don't know what the prompt is tonight.
As in Dan Fraga?
Yep. It's the first night of his as well, so I was gonna do that one off stream, but then I'll have those in the card collection as well.
That's cool. I didn't realize he was doing his own thing.
Yeah, he normally does it every year, like all month, but I guess he's only doing it, I think like 13 days this season. He's real busy. I know he's still got a book to fulfill.
Yeah.
I know how bad it sucks to be behind on shit like that, and how badly you want to get it out to people, so I'm sure that's what his focus is on right now. Oh, scratchy neck shadow. I actually really like how this like roughly inks over the gouache. I probably could have just used the brush pen to be more consistent, but it gives it a cool like dry brush texture.
Nice.
Completely unintended.
It's a happy accident.
Yeah. None of this was my fault. Yo. We're almost wrapped up here. I don't know if people can see him. Gotta do his little teeth in there. What up, Casey?
Yeah, put it on a solo layout.
It's like trying to see chat, make sure I didn't miss anybody.
Oh, nice.
Here he is.
I love that, man. That's awesome.
Tonight's killer. Thank you. I just gotta... add that little bar of white in there. So the one problem with this Posca is it'll like lift up its own paint.
Yeah.
I don't know if you use these much, but
I'm
they're
not.
either laying down like a perfect line or just nothing at all. This one might actually be tapped, but we'll see. Come on, marker.
Bleed for me.
Yeah, I need like one line out of this fucking thing, and it's, I think, tapped. I don't want to pop a no one tonight. Come on. This is enough. Come on, baby. I got one drop of white paint to come out of it, and it's sitting on the middle of my drawing table. Come on.
So you watch the monsters, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you?
Not yet. I am gonna watch it just because I'm curious. I'm not expecting much, and seeing your comments confirm that.
I'm honestly blown away. Ryan told me last night he sat down to watch it, and I think he said he got like 20 minutes in and shut it off. I'm like, in that case, I'm the man for getting through the whole thing, I guess. Like, it was like Ryan, and then we're like looking forward to it. Like, it's like he didn't even get through it. Shit.
Yeah, it's just such a strange. Well, I guess I'll say choice and director, but he's the one who wanted to do it, so it's just weird.
Yeah, I will say I don't think anyone else was going to be resurrecting the monsters anytime soon if Rob Zombie didn't, so. It's like in that regard, he kind of, gave people something they otherwise probably weren't going to get, but
That's very true.
that's probably for the best from what I saw.
So you're saying there's not going to be a sequel?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be getting the TV show that it got. It seemed to be a pilot for.
See, I thought it was supposed to be a theatrical release. I was surprised that it went to Netflix.
That's what confuses me, is I don't know if it's like some sort of, like, Bernstein Bears situation, but I could have sworn when it was originally announced, it was announced as a TV show. I thought it was originally announced as like a Hulu TV series, and then it kept getting chopped around and moved around and stuff like that, so I don't know really what happened with it, but it feels like it was a TV show and got like cut down into a movie. Like you'll see too when you watch it, like every like 15 minutes or so, it seems to sort of like reset itself.
Huh.
Like narratively, you can almost see where it would have like had like episodes start and end. Oh, evidently this is jammed or something. That's great. That's what it is.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. I can't wait to check it out.
Yeah, right. I can't wait to suffer. It was weird too, because I really thought this was going to be like the slam dunk comeback for Rob Zombie, and all it made me realize is that like that's the only real idea he has, is that like hillbilly idiot stuff. And what's really weird about this one is like it seems he made Herman Munster like a stand-in for himself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know a ton about the Munsters, and I by no means am like a Munsters fan, let alone a super fan or anything like that. But I don't remember Herman Munster being a rock star.
No, he was not. Is he a rock star in this movie?
Yeah, that's the whole premise, is he's basically Rob Zombie before he met Lily Herman. Or Munster, Lily Herman, Jesus.
Yeah, wow, that's different.
And there's like, it's weird because there's all these like bits in it where like it had the trappings of like it could have had a narrative. Like after you see it, I could tell you like how you could have made it a movie, and they didn't. But it's like, it's weird because it has everything to be a movie, and one of the hardest parts would have been like probably nailing the visuals, and they like did that. So it's real weird all around. It's kind of like a how did this happen, and how did it fail in this way? Cool, I think I've done enough with this guy. I don't want to ruin him. There he is. Oh, and I forgot to take myself off a solo before I did that too.
Oh, nice.
All done. Another Giallo killer. I gotta be careful because that's a puddle of whiteout, basically. Yeah, and we're almost at 9:30. Ben's gotta get going too. I'm gonna be getting going.
Yep, here's mine.
Hot damn, dude, that absolutely rocks. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for the invite, dude. I had fun.
A rock star? I gotta see that movie. Yeah, definitely. I mean, give it a chance. I say that all the time, guys. Like, even if I hate on something, like, don't make that the reason not to watch something you were interested in watching. That's a fucking stupid reason. But like, for me, it was like, as if you strip away all the monster shit and it's just supposed to be a new like fun comedy. I straight up told Mike, I was like, I feel like I should show it to my nieces and nephews to see like if it's landing with kids, because that's ideally who it's for. But it's weird because Rob Zombie doesn't have kids. Like, they don't have kids, and they did a show where like you could have punched in jokes for adults, but none of them land. And there's one that they have with Count Orlok early on, where he takes Lily to a nightclub before she's out like courting other dudes before she meets Herman. And it's like the one joke, and it like kind of landed for me, and then they don't like extrapolate on it or anything. Like, it's all these missed opportunities. You'll see too, they'll like have a joke, like here's the setup, and the punchline is like immediate, like they're almost in the same sentence. Like, it's weird. It's almost like someone on the spectrum telling jokes, because there's not like a beat in between to like let your brain even process that a joke is being said.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, it's so strange, dude. I was just like, it's ruined in the editing, and that's what made me think Rob Zombie edited the movie, and that there wasn't like there's probably enough footage there where if you got someone who works on like, you know, the Will Ferrell movies or something like that, or even like Kevin Hart movies, just someone that understands editing a comedy movie so that the comedy lands. That's the whole thing, is it just seems like the person that edited the movie hasn't ever edited comedy anything. And if it's just Rob Zombie doing it, he hasn't. That means he's only edited his weird schlocky horror movies, which I'm a fan of, but that doesn't translate to comedy kids show.
Right.
And then the last like 10 minutes of the show seems to land perfectly. It's like, oh, we know the Munsters formula if we're just trying to be a reboot of the Munsters. Because the last 10 minutes is basically like, oh, they're the show now, and it's to the everyday normal that the series was based on. Because the whole movie is supposed to be a prequel of like how they became the Munsters.
Yeah.
But man, I was like, I thought this was going to be like a renaissance for Rob Zombie, and we might get a couple more like horror movies out of him. I don't think anybody's greenlighting shit from him after this.
I'm gonna try to check it out this weekend.
Yeah, let me know what you think of it. Like, I'm sure some people love it and everything, but it was just like, from a comedy standpoint, it's so... He did such a good job of like nailing the old school vibe of it that it just I don't think it translates to a modern audience. And I don't think he needed to do like modern sensibilities or anything. Like, he's not touching on like trans issues or anything like that. Like, it's not cringy in that regard. But like, modern sensibilities for just like comedic structure and timing and writing is like, this movie shows that that's very important. And that like, you can make like a period thing or a reboot of something, and it can be like set in that period and look like that again, but you need to update like the actual material that drives the story forward, and they didn't do that here. If anything, it's like all the jokes are extracted from it, and it's just like they nailed the vibe of everything. And that's so strange. I think I called it like a beautiful corpse by the end of my review. Like, it was so strangely lifeless, but looked so fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would take an all original IP that looked like that any day of the week. But that was like actually funny. The problem is what we do in the shadows already exists.
Right.
And if you want something that hits on those same sensibilities and everything, and those same like motifs and stuff, but actually has like a comedy team behind it, writing that are actually trying to make you laugh, that's when it works. It's so weird that they could have just ripped that whole template off with Munster's characters, and it would have been a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Like you had the whole format in front of you. I think that show's on like its 3rd or 4th season at this point. I'm not even a big fan of that show, but it's like they know how to write a joke and give it a moment to fucking like let the audience listen to it, hear it, process it, and then even like decide if they're going to laugh at it.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like if you wanted to make a prequel movie, the movie should have been, like Lily's dad is trying to get her to like settle down and find a husband, because there's no real motivation for why she's just like out hoeing it up and trying to find someone. Not that she's really hoeing it up, but she's all of a sudden on this hunt to find a significant other, and her dad basically thinks everybody's a big fucking idiot and not good enough for her. But instead of that being like the whole story and Herman being, like the classic romantic comedy, he comes in and like becomes that knight in shining armor for her. It's just all these little fragmented like montages and like scenes with like little anecdotes and stuff. It feels weird. It feels like a idea board for a show. It doesn't feel like an actual narrative. And the whole thing could have just been like, Lily going out on all these dates with all these different shitty suitors until she finally meets Herman and he sweeps her off his feet. And then you have a Count Orlok character that they set up as like the scorned lover who's into Lily and like trying to court her, but she's just not feeling it. She goes after Herman. They do nothing with that character. And it's like set up in the first act that should be the movie, and it's just like, again, the movie feels like a bunch of like 15-minute Adult Swim TV show episodes crammed together and called a movie. Like you'll see it when you start watching it. It is so weird. Like if somebody just edits the credits in like every 15 minutes, it would just be a TV show.
Wow.
But yeah. I could rant about this all night. I don't want to keep you up. Thank you again for coming on, Ben. I will pull up yours one last time, because this is absolutely kick-ass. Anytime, man. Let me know if you want to come back on. We're going all month long, most likely around 9 every night like this.
Okay.
But yeah, that is killer, and I'll show my little guy off one more time.
Yeah,
he'll be going in the collection with everybody else. Thank you again for coming on. Thank you, dudes, for hanging out and watching with us. We'll be back tomorrow night. But for now, take it easy. And
see you later,
happy
chat.
Gialloween.
Yeah, Gialloween.